frequency's not in use, I can tell. I've been listening for quite some time. This is K4PEW net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net. I hope there's not any emergency traffic, but I'll ask anyway. Nothing heard. I think we, at least here in most of Middle Tennessee, we escaped the bullet here. Fortunately, we certainly didn't need any more bad weather, although it looked pretty bad there for a while. A couple of areas up in Springfield and I think west of Murfreesboro had a tornado touchdown, but I don't know how bad it was. If anybody has any information, let me know. If there is an emergency or you need assistance in some way, just don't hesitate to jump on here and tell us where you are. We'll be glad to assist. This isn't an Aries net, but if anybody has any new information, you're welcome to jump in. You can see our screen of my screen of my radio right now on YouTube. Just go to MJSS, Mount Juliet Simplex Society. Well, in this case, no, you want to go to K4PEW. My call K4PEW, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey in the search block, and it'll bring up this as a premiere, and you'll notice that it's a new radio net. You can also go to Facebook and just put in MJ Simplexton Net, Mount Juliet Simplexton Net, and it should bring it up. You can also go to groups.io to sign up, or just see the net schedule on groups.io and just put MJSS into the search block there. Or you can send me an email and just get dumb answers at K4PEW@ARRL.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday. This is our 1001st net. That doesn't make it any first of anything other than it's the first one after 1,000. Our 10-year anniversary is somewhere in September, third week in September maybe. That'll be 10 years, but at this point we've done over 1,000. That's kind of cool. I spent 2.5 times less when I was in the military than I have on this net. Well, that's only kind of true. Covering the same amount of years. Net normal, we already went through that. The week that we're conducting 146.415. We're going to move on today to where are we going today? 28.415, and then on to that. After that, we're going to 223.415. But of course, we're going to take first-time check-ins in mobile and people short on time before that. But we're starting from the west after that. Does anybody have any, besides the announcements, is there any other announcement? There is a breakfast today. It's Saturday's 11th, yeah, May 11th. There is a breakfast Saturday morning at Golden Corral. It's at 8 a.m. You can get there at 8 p.m. if you want to, but we're not going to be there. At 8, you get there at 8, you get there at 7:30, you get there at 7. It won't matter. They do not unlock the doors until the massive horde plows through them at 8 o'clock when they unlock them. Any other announcements besides that? And the Sunday night 10-meter net. Don't want to forget that. Mike gets mad at me. Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. The same net as we do, except better. He does the 28.415, and then he goes to 29.415 FM, and then he goes on to 223.415. Last week he had check-ins from, where was it? Peru, Ecuador, I think it was. Pretty cool. I don't get any of those, thankfully. The guy couldn't speak English. That was what was funny about it. Well, is there any other announcements? All right, is this on? The purpose of that is to really have fun, put everybody in a good position where they understand how to use their radios. And I've told this story about 400 times, but the reason I even started doing a Simplex net is when I joined a club, I learned all by myself, more or less, when I first got into ham radio. And when I joined this big club, I say big, it had about 50 members, that a lot of people didn't know how to go from even simple, go from a program radio into Simplex on a handheld or their mobile unit. So I said, I'm going to fix that. I went and did a net that had 2 meters, 70 centimeters, 6 meters and 10 meters, 6 meter. I'm trying to remember if we did 6 meter FM, but we did FM on 10 meters and FM on them. But they were all Simplex and about 2 meter and 70 centimeter. But we had a ball with it because even then, even after a while, there were people checking in, trying to check in, being on something else. They were on sideband instead of FM, or FM instead of sideband. It was humorous, really, but that's how we all get better. And I'm not saying anyone here does that, because we really have a lot of people who are pretty good at this point. I mean, a lot. I think we've been we've been through approximately 20-something thousand check-ins, I think, in the past 1,001 nets. And most, I say most, I can't think of an exception really, other than those that just can't reach us due to bad terrain or bad conditions. But almost I think everybody here is very good at going from, from the VFO on to whatever they have in their program, and they even have these programmed into their memory. But to change from 146.415 FM to 146.415 upper sideband is a breeze now, I think, for most people who have sideband, that is. But anyway, that's what we're there for. And anybody, now they got the announcements taken care of, so let's go in on starting with the short on time, short on memory, short on money, and short on short on time. What else was there? Oh yeah, mobile or first time check-ins. Hello, which one are you? Short of money there, Danny?
I guess short on time. I don't know.
Very good. You didn't have any problems that were serious up there, did you?
No, just a lot of water. My pond overflowed.
No hail?
That's it.
Oh, well, I had rain and hail, but not for very long. It was just for a very short period. I thought it was going to get worse, but it didn't, and I'm glad it did. Anything else for the net?
No, that's it. Back to you.
Very good. That's Danny. He's up near Cotton Town. That's Kilo Delta 4 Golf, Oscar, November. He's in Singapore, but a little bit noisier than normal. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the weather is giving us some problem. We'll find out over time. Who else is a short on time, mobile, or first time check-in? Well, that was quick. I think everybody unplugged all their antennas. Okay, then we're going to start from the west. Please come in.
KG4 ILV.
Would you mind just check in 2 or 3 times, Jay?
I think it's going to be a short net.
I don't know. We might just have we'll have a good time anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to the breakfast on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll let you get on with it, Paul. KG4 ILV.
Very good. That was Jack, Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor. He did learn very early to go from Simplex over to upper sideband or a memory channel or whatever. But he learned earlier than me. Who else is west?
KD4 CD.
Hello. No, tornado didn't take down your property?
Yeah, somebody be doubling with you, I think.
Tornado didn't take down your property?
No, we did good here. Yeah, the first 2-meter rig I had was loaned to me when I got my license. And it was an Icon, but it had some wheel dials, if you can imagine that. And then a little flat switch to indicate, up or down or no offset.
Oh, wow. Yeah, some of those are, that had to be from the 60s, I guess.
Very possibly that or early 70s, yeah. And, it was assumed it was going to be 140 something. So you tuned in, the 5.23 or whatever, the 6.41, I'm, now that I think about it, I'm not sure if it would do 415.
Oh, is that right? It didn't cover the whole band?
Well, that's just getting too minute. It would probably do 4.1.
I got you. Well, I've never seen one quite like that, but I'm glad what we have now. Besides, we have all of this stuff now, and we don't use about 90% of what we got.
How about my brain?
Well, I ain't saying it. I ain't saying it.
All right, well then, now you've insulted me. I'll move on. KD4 CD.
All right, good to have Biscuit in there. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie. Victor Echo. Who else is west? Nobody else west? How about south? All our worst fears were for nothing, weren't they? Except for some areas. I got to say there was some damage somewhere. When they're you been keeping track of that, Tony?
Well, we were extremely lucky. It all went to the south of us. I know they had a tornado on the ground between Columbia and Spring Hill down in that area for quite a while, actually. And I'm sure we will hear about the damage tomorrow.
Yeah, no matter where it hits, it's problematic. I mean, if it goes out and just knocks down trees, I could, I'm not that concerned. But it always seems to hit somebody and cause somebody a lot of grief. I'm glad it did not hit really populated areas, but I'm also, you know, it's bad that it hits anybody.
Well, according to all the smart people at NWS, the band line is yet to get here. It's heading our way. It should be here around 11 a.m.
Oh, really? I did not see that on the radar I was looking at. It didn't go that far, actually.
Well, now you know.
Cool. That's not cool. So does it look like there's more tornadoes, do they say?
Well, they just said they forecast it to be worse. This was just kind of the opening salvo.
The rope-a-dope.
We're pushing the rope to be right. Look at it.
Very good. Anything else for the net, Tony?
Oh, that's enough. Careful.
Very good. I'll have to be more prepared after we get off the net. That was Tony, Kilo Foxtrot 4, Kilo Foxtrot Quebec and Smyrna. Who else is south? All righty, big net tonight. South, one more time. Over to the east.
KM4YRF. Chick Man is short on brain.
Okay. Did you think that was something new?
I just hoping everybody didn't notice.
It is. You know, as I heard somebody say recently, in the last couple of weeks, they go, you know, stupid people don't know they're stupid.
I can believe that.
Well, I think that's truthfully, it's, you know, it's, and I'm not making fun of anybody who's got problems, you know what I mean? But it's true. I had a relative, a second cousin of mine, second cousin? Yeah, she had a form of Down syndrome. She was the nicest girl you could possibly meet. And if you believe it, she went on and got married to a guy who also had Down syndrome. And I'm thought, oh my God. And they had a daughter who doesn't have Down syndrome. So there's good everywhere.
Well, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, they both read, you know, they led a normal life and all more or less other than the normal silly route. I just can't imagine having two family. I wasn't around them that much, but two adults in the family and they both have Down syndrome and they're taking care of a child. Just sounds funny to me.
That would be a miracle in itself.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, anything else from that, Mike?
Nope. I was standing at the front door, watched a little bit of the hail come down and the rain, of course, but we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, Tony says there's more to come, and he knows everything. You know that.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
All right, very good. That was Mike. Kilo Mike 4, Yankee Romeo Foxtrot here in Mount Juliet. At least for now. Could be moving later with big winds. But who else is east? Nobody else east?
KM4HQ.
Did you get much of anything tonight there? I heard there was a couple in there, but I heard you in there, Stan.
We got lots and lots of rain. Got some wind, but there's a lot of water in the front yard.
Yeah, well, I think you might have heard Tony. He said the weather service says there's a whole mess more coming before midnight.
Yeah, I think round 2 is coming.
You think the what? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I think round 2 is coming here before too long.
Well, I don't want to look forward to that either. Anything else for the net, Stan?
No, that's all, Paul. Back to net. KM4HQ.
He's in Lebanon. Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. Who else is in Lebanon? How about Kevin? Is Kevin there? Anybody east? Please come down.
KF4ZDG.
Yeah, that Kevin. Very good. You're not in Lebanon, but how you doing there, Kevin?
In Lebanon sometimes, or Mount Juliet at times as well. So, but yeah, we're doing good over here.
Yeah, the Wilson County.
Yeah.
Anything good over your place? I'm sure it wasn't any different than ours because it's just, or Michael's for that matter.
I didn't really pay attention, but I didn't. I heard you and Michael both talk about hail. I didn't notice any hail out here. We just had heavy rain for a little while. We've been watching it. We've got family down towards my wife's, our brothers down towards Columbia, Murray County there. Carthage area, so there's all that weather going up through there was headed for a lot of her family. So they're kind of watching it, checking in on them.
The only reason I knew it was hail. I saw the heavy rain and I went out and looked at the window and just watched it for a while, the rain, and all of a sudden the hail came down, but it wasn't. It was more like, I'll say most of it was pea-sized hail.
Yeah, we probably got it too.
Yeah, the last time we had a heavy hailstorm, which is, oh my gosh, it's 20, I don't remember what year it was, 13, 14. Damage on my car, kept reimbursed by the insurance company.
Yeah, you know, a friend of mine that does that paintless tint repair, and he, you know, when things get tight, he's like, man, I need a hailstorm or something like that.
Praying for hail. That's funny. Yeah, that's not good because hail can really cause damage. I mean, we had hail in Florida that would just, ooh.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I was headed up to Louisville a couple weeks ago, and there was a big old thunderstorm coming through there. Driving north on 65, it was still dark out, so it was fairly early, and got walloped by a big hailstorm going up through there.
I've only seen, I remember when I was a kid one time, we had some hail bounce off our neighbors, the houses were very close to each other. It went right to that. But, I've seen those videos where hail actually just pounded in the windshield of a car. You know?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I've seen that. That's crazy. I hope I never have to experience that. But
well, the worst that can happen is it can't go through the metal roof. Might be pretty safe sitting in the car.
Yeah, I mean, unless you get like a sunroof or something like that.
Yeah, that would be horrible, wouldn't it? Then you're going to say, why did I get a sunroof?
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Well, very good. Anything else for the net, Kevin? Yeah, that was Kevin, Kilo India 4 Zulu Delta Golf over in Gladeville. Who else is east?
Comment. Since we got time. My dad, who was an air show pilot, had borrowed a Piper Cub from somebody in their fabric cupboard. I had it tied down at the local airstrip, and a hailstorm came through, golf ball size hail, and just in the plane.
Okay, I thought they put like a canvas on those. Isn't that what that is?
No, no. I can't remember the name of it. It's not as thick as canvas. It has some strength when it's in the air and moving, and then they paint on it. It's called doping, but it's still fabric, and that's metal on those old Piper Cubs, really, other than the tubing and inner tubing.
It sounds like the same stuff I put on a air-controlled aircraft I had back in when I was a kid. You know, we covered it with something, and like you said, we did that doping. But I don't remember what the material was.
Or like a home built little model.
Yeah, it was a model airplane with an engine on it, and that's the kind you controlled. You just had a wire connected to your handle on you, and you went around in circles.
Yeah, if you're talking about the fabric, what was popular was what they called the silk, which probably wasn't silk.
No, I don't think it was silk. I just know that it was rigid once you got it on there and you put the dope on.
Yeah, no doubt. And that dope makes it a little fuel resistant to those open. Probably had a Coxo 49 engine or something.
Yeah, no. Anyway, appreciate that. I don't know if I've ever heard that. It was just talking about his father had rented a plane. He couldn't hear Greg, or used a friend's plane. I'm not sure which it was, and it was parked on the runway and strapped down. They got hit by a hailstorm and pretty much tore up the fabric off the entire plane. Who else is east? Well, you're really noisy tonight there, Wes. What's going on? Man, you are so noisy. I can tell it's you, but I couldn't get much of what you said. Where'd you say you were?
I'm in my driveway.
Okay, very good. That explains a lot. He's in his driveway in his vehicle. So over there in Possum Town, that's where it is. Possum Town, northwest of Wilson County. That was Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India. Really noisy. Who else is north, east or north?
KB9RKK.
Hello, Frank. Anything good going on? You must have missed the same stuff we did.
Yeah, I missed it. Drove home a little while ago, all clear from Davidson to
up Mount Juliet Road, Hobson Pike, nothing at all. Just a little bit of water here and there. I know Bill, KK4W, his power went out when we talked to his wife before we left, and when he got there at about 7:45 or so, it was still out. So I guess it didn't affect over by West, but yeah, by Bill, his power was out. So I'm not sure how big the area the power's out.
Well, the power's on here, thankfully.
Yeah, we had nothing here. My wife said nothing at all. Just some heavy rain. We usually get pretty fortunate, that, other than the one windstorm that, I had my tree come down and some little damage on the side and another time from the neighbor's tree, but, nothing like what you guys got in your neighborhood. Yeah, nothing like that. Hopefully we don't see it. I know the watch for today is till 3 a.m., so there is another round coming. And it's so far it expires at 3 a.m.
I just hope it knows it expires at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I hope it gets canceled. How's that?
Yeah, well, it's one thing we can't control, the weather. Well, I think we've been trying to, but I don't think we can. I mean, my wife said, "How come they can't just build a big enough fan to blow away the tornadoes?" Like, okay, you have any idea how big that fan would have to be?
Yeah, I mean, when the net first started, there was about 4 active ones south of us. From Shelbyville all the way down to the Alabama border, all at once. So there's been a whole bunch of them, and you know how they are. They can hit, your garage and not do nothing to your house, and then take out the next block. It's just amazing.
Yeah, there was one that hurricane that moved through. I think it was Charlie through Florida, and it, hit a lot of stuff there on the coast in Port Charlotte, and this one guy, his mobile home was intact, and both all the trailers on either side of him were all tore up.
Yeah. But yeah, we got fortunate, over here. But it happens. I think sometimes, and I understand it. Everybody's a little bit about it and almost over focused on it. But part of it is because a lot of times the storms come overnight over here, and it's the big problem because night them when you're sleeping.
Yeah, well, I really am glad that they have. If I was inside the house and I don't have the windows open, I can't hear that tornado siren. But I'm glad that the alerts come through the phones now. That's a really neat thing.
But that's all I got got nothing else for the net there. So I'll turn it back over to net control.
Very good. I'm gonna be like those TV people where the director is doing that. He's putting his fingers together and says, "Draw it out, make it longer and longer." No, we don't want to make it longer. That was Frank. Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo. Who else is north? Well, there was 2 in there, but let me take Carlin first. What's up, Carlin? You survived?
Like pouring straight down. Been doing it off and on here in the last about 10 minutes. Just pour down for about a minute. Then start doing it again. And I was looking at the radar earlier before we lost the power at 6:09. Back on here about 7:35 or 7:40. And I was looking at the radar and was just coming into the west of the state of Arkansas. And I was looking at it on channel 4. I was banging out and I thought, dark red, that is, that's way over there. That don't lose no strength.
Oh yeah, I agree, and I just hope that none of the future of those events tonight are going to be terrible because nighttime is the worst.
You can't see nothing. That's the worst thing about it. It's dark. It's like in that movie that they did a couple years ago, Tornado or something other. They was at that out of a store. 2 people come out of the store, and there was like a drive-in theater next door, and it lightened it, and they could see the tornado, and then all of a sudden the drive-in theater screens where they were at just started disintegrating.
Oh yeah, well, that can happen. I know that happens to a man. Tornadoes are awful, just awful. Anything else for the net, Carlin? I'm sorry you lost power, but I'm glad it's back on.
Oh yeah, it is now. It's about 15 minutes around the clock. So, anyway, I don't guess so. Hope everybody's enjoying the net. Hope everybody stays safe tonight. Hopefully this will all come on down. Think the sun's down. Maybe everything will calm. So with that said, K4VW up here, and they just found this thing. I'll turn it back over to Net Control.
Yeah, very good. That was Carlin up in Beth area, Kilo Delta 4 Victor, Uniform Whiskey. Only a little power loss. Who else is, say only? It might get worse. I hope not. North or anywhere. If you can hear videos and antennas, please come now.
WB0NLO.
Hello. Unplug your antenna today.
I sure did. And I just got it plugged back in.
Oh yeah. Well, you didn't. I think you didn't fare any worse than I did, or Moses, or Frank, or anybody. It wasn't that bad. Ultimately, it was just a lot of rain.
Oh yeah. And my phone's just been going crazy. And the weather radio going on. And I had a good battery in it, so it wouldn't go off. I practically threw it across the room.
You see, you couldn't turn the phone off. Is that what you're saying?
I couldn't turn my weather radio off. It's got battery in it. But, usually the battery's dead, but it wasn't this time. So anyway, we had all afternoon.
Yeah, in that, I don't know if you remember, I think it was the movie 1984, and the couple, a friend, like a childhood friend who was in a position of power with the government, they went to talk to him. And one of that was the images showing. You know, you had a TV in your room, in your house, and it was a TV no matter where you were, and it was always disseminating propagation. Yeah, propagation report. Propaganda, you know, government propaganda, constantly with government propaganda. And it's always on, all the time. Because he could see you and you could see the propaganda. That was the complete. His friend, and he's talking to him, said, "We got something personal we want to talk to you about." He reaches under his desk and hits some kind of switch, and his TV turns. His TV turns on. He goes, "Off your TV." You know, it was just like it was a shock because everyone else has to leave them on, except for the special people.
It sounds almost like CNN.
Yeah, it sounds, well, I've come to not trust. I'll just say conservatives are supposed to trust. You really have to just kind of just take everything with a grain of salt.
Anyway, glad you made it through 1,000 on the net, and we had no damage. Some rain and a little bit of wind. Not bad at all. I was expecting a lot of shoes on.
She made you put a shirt on.
She did. All right, that's all I got.
Very good. That was Mark. He's in Northwest Wilson. Whiskey for Oscar. Is there anybody else? Any place, anywhere? I think it was a double in there, but it was somebody else. Was it? What was that again? That call? Ah, very good. Have you checked in before? I don't recall.
No, I don't think I have. I'm over here by point. I'm on the door.
Ah, very good. What's your first name?
First name here is Dave.
In there, Dave. I'm pretty sure your weather wasn't any worse than Frank's tonight.
No, it's the same as whatever his was. Mine's the same, yeah.
We had, I know, at least in this area, generally speaking, there wasn't any damage. Other than just rain. We did have some hail, but I don't think it was big enough to But as you know, there were some areas of Middle Tennessee that got whacked by a tornado.
That's what I heard earlier. We had to talk about, I guess, they had 100-mile-an-hour winds, I think, by Shelby Mill.
Yeah, that's most people would have a hard time conceiving. You know, they haven't even been 100 miles an hour in a car, but I'd love to have them do it and try to stick their head out the window. Well, you know what I mean? Is it's hard to conceive how strong. I mean, you cannot stand up on a 100-mile-an-hour wind. You just can't. You can barely hold on.
Yeah, you're not usually, subjected to that normally.
No, I've been in 60-mile-an-hour. I think they were 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds. I was overseas, and it will not literally will knock you over if you're not leaning into it or holding on to something.
I'm assuming when you're saying overseas, that means you were probably stationed there.
No, I was on a ship, and it was down in off the east coast of Argentina. Anyway, I just remember how I was kind of shocked at how I'd never been in those kind of winds before. I stepped out on the deck and almost fell over.
Well, especially on the upper deck, I mean, where you're on the main deck.
It was pretty drastic, but it just makes life interesting. I like to give you that.
Of course, ships can take it.
Yeah, they're built. Obviously, all ships are built rugged. I mean, freighters, ships in particular. I mean, they're made to withstand. You know, they can take a torpedo right through the middle of them, and if they're properly compartmented, ammunition or oil doesn't blow up, they'll stay afloat.
Yeah, I think the imperative, a lot of the, even on the operation is good enough. When they show all the war stuff on there, it's really easy for me to understand it. They were showing something when it was back, I think, no, it was actually World War II. The guy kind of slightly flushed to get the range of the guns to get the elevation to reach where they wanted. So just like they tilted the guns off what it would normally be off a flat, or even was slightly, shall we say, diverted.
Oh wow, yeah, I don't remember us. We never had to do that. Because I guess our particular guns elevated high enough that we could get our maximum range. But it also may have had some. Maybe it had something. Was for land targets? Do you remember what they said?
Yes, they were. They were land targets, and they were somewhat inland, so they might have been.
Yeah, well, I was shocked. Not shocked, not the right word. I didn't know much about artillery or deck guns until I got in the military, and then I was surprised to find out that we had projectiles that were special, like canisters on the underside of the projectile, that they were solid rocket fuel, and they were called rocket wrap projectiles, rocket assisted. They energized when you shot them out the regular gun within about, I'd say 20, 25 feet, because it reached and the spinning at the same time enabled the switch to ignite the rocket, and they'd fire for about a second, but it gave us an additional 4 miles.
And that's interesting. So it was a secondary push besides the original. But they had to be far enough away from the ship that, the backblast wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I wish I had some videos of that because it was pretty cool to watch. We actually used what they call flashless tobacco. I was going to say flashless tobacco. That doesn't make any sense. And that's so the enemy could not see your flashes. And but they could see the rockets going off.
See, even though I'm visually impaired, if the narration is good enough, a lot of these things I can completely understand all the story channel and even investigation, discovery, and other things. If the narration is good enough, I can understand.
Well, that's the beauty, really, Dave. I'm not sure how you say you're visually impaired, so I assume you either do Braille or some other form, or just do audio books or whatever. But that's one of the interesting things about communications. That's what's so interesting about a book versus a movie is because with the correct explanations, you fill in the blanks with your understanding of, if it's done properly, of what's going on. In fact, it's more visually appealing to your brain than it is watching a movie.
The thing is, I listen to old time radio, and I got, I have an Alexa here, and there's still a bunch of stuff I don't even know what it's capable of. But I mean, I use it for all kinds of things. I use it for word definitions, anything. If anything occurs to me, like, well, what's the definition of this word? I mean, I'm 72 years old. I figure I can still learn.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I do the same thing. Well, a day doesn't go by because I'm retired. I'm 75 next month, and a day does not go by that I'll see a word and I go, okay, I don't remember what exactly that word means. So I look it up, and I bet you I do that at least 3 or 4 times a day.
One of my latest words, lawyers use these terms, subterfuge, semantic, stuff like that, or disingenuous. That's one of my favorite words, that actually applies to a fair bit of people sometimes.
Oh, you mean it's a nice way of saying you're lying.
It says, how's it say? Without frankness, without candor, and also without need, or without care. So it attaches a whole bunch of, shall we say, we'll call them parasitic things that are related to it.
Oh, I know. Language can be quite interesting, don't you think?
I would say definitely. I would say most definitely. I always tried to keep as articulate as I could be, even when I was young. And, for the most part, I've been able to do that.
Yeah, I get a kick. Well, I learned in my early, I'll say career, if that's what you want to call it, in communications, when I managed people, or I was in sales and project management, and I learned from, I don't remember where I heard it first, but it says never use a big word when a smaller one will do. In other words, you don't want to, you're not trying to impress anybody if you're trying to communicate properly. But sometimes, the word is necessary if it's a complex word, and it fits your audience. But it's true, though. I've seen people use words in normal conversation. You go, seriously, you use that word? It just, because 50% of the people do not know what that means. I had my son, when he was young, he was like 16. He said we lived in Florida, and he said, he comes over to the house and he goes, man, it sure is tepid outside. I said, I don't think you know what the word tepid means.
I think tepid means lukewarm.
Yeah, that's right, but it was hot and humid. Yeah, that's what he thought it meant.
Well, British say things like that. You listen to the British, narratives and documentaries, and it's kind of neat. I kind of grew up with that stuff, so in a way, one of my teachers when I was in school, she said, try to give me a definition of something without using the same word again, without being redundant. So, in other words, a different way to say teacher.
Yeah, you broke up there a little bit there, Dave. I lose Dave.
I accidentally unpaid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's the whole issue. You can't use the same word in the definition. Otherwise, it's a circular reasoning. You're saying the desk is very much like a desk. All right, you dropped out there again, Dave. And again.
He may be having a problem with his microphone. Maybe not okay.
Yeah. He was doing great up until then.
Yeah. I'm not sure who else can hear him. He's actually in Dorota.
Oh, that's right. I forgot how he was connected to you in an almost physical way, at least in the house. Yeah, very good. Well, see that there's going to be others who can. Is he on an HT?
No, he's actually on a mobile, but he's got it down all the way and using a mag mount. An actual mag mount, like an Hanley or one of them whips that extends.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's on top of the refrigerator. That's where you get the height, the elevation.
Kind of. He's on top of a gun safe, but yeah, same thing.
Even better, lots of steel in the gun safe.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
No, no, of course not. I'm sorry we got broken up there. It was good to have you on the net. You're welcome anytime. We're here every Wednesday and Saturday night at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. That's no, nobody's here at 7 p.m. That was David, Kilo Bravo 9 Kilo Lima, and he's over there in Northwest Mount Juliet. Anybody else? I'm almost going to ask Lollygagger bunch, but let's go for one more time. Any place, anywhere, please come down. I really do think everybody turned off their radios or unplugged their power supply. I ain't scared. I leave everything on. I'm independently poor. It doesn't matter. I can always borrow money to beat another radio or power supply or your 10. Now we're looking for lollygaggers, lurkers, and sandbaggers.
Man, I just turned it on. KYSP.
Are a lollygagger, lurker, or sandbagger. That's awesome.
Nothing for the KYSP.
Very good. That was Scott, the infamous sandbagger of renown, Kilo 1 Sierra Pop. On his radio, it says. That was funny. Anybody else? Lurkers, lollygaggers, and sandbaggers like Kevin out in Lebanon. Anybody else out?
Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Juliet.
I think that was Kilo Oscar 4 Kilo.
Yeah, Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Juliet 7, Pleasant View, but I'm mobile, going by correction.
Oh, yeah, you're pretty loud to me. That's what I was going to say. Because you're really good for doing from Pleasant View. No, that's cool. You have.
Yeah, I heard the sirens go off for a little while, and we got a whole lot of rain, but nothing, no doubt. Not good.
Yeah, well, up near your area, there were some worse than we got for sure.
Yeah. Like that, so who knows?
Yeah, well, I'm praying it doesn't get any worse because that's bad enough for anybody to lose. You know, it's pretty up, I think, in the Springfield area and then down in the Columbia area.
Yeah, I think Springfield got what come over. But who knows, really? How does this radio sound right now? I'll switch it down to low power.
Oh, you got a big signal here. I mean, you were, I think, about 60 over.
Oh, that's good to hear. I think I'm gonna get 5 watts on though, but I can't remember really.
Yeah, it probably is. At worst, it would be 10 watts because I don't know. It's goofy. Well, I got several radios that are goofy, but I had I still have it. It's a Linko 85 watt radio. 85 watts. It all, 2 power settings. 85 and 5.
Yeah, big difference there, huh? People and everybody else listening. Been a while, but I've been busy. I hadn't checked in a while. Thought I would. Y'all have a good day.
Very good, Seth. As you know, we don't have any rules. You can check in whenever you want to. You just can't ever check out. You'll always. That's normally in Pleasant View, but he was driving down the road here nearby. It's Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Alpha Juliet. Now, considering we had horrible storms and horrible rain and all kinds of warnings against lightning and thunder and storm, we ended up with 15 on the net tonight. One last chance before we move over to 28. Anybody else? We didn't want to leave out the flat earthers and the moon landing deniers, desert people. Trying to bring Kevin out there, letting it out of the woodwork. Normally comes in on the lizard people. Earth deniers. But the global, they're not actually denying the flat earth, they're denying the round earth. Anybody else? All righty, 28415 upper sideband. We'll see you there. I think I heard Greg in there. All he's doing is thinking about himself. It was me, me, me. I don't know if that's Greg or not. It's K4PW, net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net here on 28 seconds. We'll just start from the west as usual. Very good. Got you in there, Jack. You sound good in spite of all the noise and the weather. Who else is west? That wasn't you doing the me, me, me on your test? No, right afterwards. Right afterwards. It sounded like you. That's why I said that. I wasn't sure it was you, but it just sounded like you. Anyway, that was Greg, Kilo Delta 4, Charlie Victor Echo. He's in Antioch. Who else is west? Somebody in there. Say again. Okay. Very good. NO1SY. Who else is west? Please come down. All right, down to the south. Okay, there was at least 10 in there. Over to the east.
KM4.
Did you hear how loud Seth was on the radio in his car?
Yes, I did.
Man, it was killing. You hear a 60 over, from somebody other than you, and he just about blew my ears off because I was wearing the headphones. By the way, I didn't tell you, not everybody else. 2 days ago, I put a Q-tip in my ear, which I've done before, but for whatever reason, pushed it in too far against my ear. My left ear was nearly deaf.
Oh my goodness! Don't do that anymore.
Well, I rinse it out and hose it out, and I put mineral oil in there, try to soften it up. Finally, I went to the VA today and spent 4 hours, minutes to unclog that drain. I was hoping they wouldn't use one of them auger bits,
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Anyway, it's always good. I don't realize, I'm sure there's some hearing impaired people around, but you don't even realize when one ear can't hear, you actually sense a balance a little bit because you're so used to hearing things from both sides of your head.
Yeah, that's when I have Schwimmer's ear or something, and one ear would be clogged up, and it just throws everything off.
Yeah, in fact, my phone, I had it in my right pocket, and I started itself some YouTube video, or it was an ad, the ad of a phone. And I told my wife, I said, "Man, would you turn off your phone?" Because I couldn't. It was in my right pocket. I couldn't hear it in my left ear, so I assumed it was on the. Would have been my wife, but not me.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyway, that's a little tidbit. That's just medical humor, of course. Who else is 4YRF here in Mount Juliet? Who else is east?
KI4 is easy.
No medical. We're gonna have to start a medical net. Maybe that'd be good. What do you think, Kevin?
I don't know anything about medicine.
And some of the people got. I love dumb ideas about how to fix things, in a healthcare orientation.
Ideas, so I'd probably be all right.
Oh yeah, you and I get along great, man. I am chock full of dumb ideas. Ideas, I might put them that way because I know they're not. I generally know when I'm wrong. Generally.
Yeah, I mean, I've come up with plenty of dumb ideas where you do it and then you're like, but why did I even think that would work?
There's a 2 points to that. I solve a problem mechanically or electrically, and it was one of those you hadn't encountered it. I can't even tell you what it was, quite honestly. And I'll be looking at this problem, this thing that I'm trying to make work, or whatever it was, and you're thinking, how am I going to? Literally, your brain all of a sudden gets this tidbit of information, and you go, I'm going because you don't always get the right information, and you go, yeah, that's it. And then when you realize that is it, it's like this. It's like that literal light bulb in your head goes impressive, and you didn't even feel like you did it. It's just like it was something that came to you. You know?
Yeah, I can't even think of a moment of clarity.
Yeah, it's fascinating, really. When all of a sudden you come to because one of the job I had involved of fairly large systems, not not IT systems, but mechanical, electrical, refrigeration, and the water flow and that kind of stuff. And so you were constantly in this mode of what you're like. The mode was what the hell. Work your way through it, asking questions in the same manner that a doctor would, or anybody that was troubleshooting anything. You're trying to narrow it down. Happen? How did it happen? The who, what, where, how, and why. And it was fascinating. You'd get to a point where you weeded out or were given. It was just an interesting way to troubleshooting can be fun. Of course, it's a pain in the butt too.
Yeah, I agree. It can be fun. Figure something out, but I usually end up trying to make something way too complicated and give myself way more work. And
oh yeah, join the club. I've done that too. Anyway, that was Kevin here over there in Gladeville, Kilo, India, for Zulu, Delta Golf. Well, I need some more East. How about Orient? Asia Minor. They don't call it that anymore, I don't think. Who else we got? North. We missed North.
Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo.
Yeah, I really do think we. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, we got plenty of things to talk about, I guess. Until tomorrow.
No, we just call it a gripe net, I guess.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff, man. And things start like, yeah, I'm starting to break down. What's going on?
Because people do have some things in healthcare, and I worked in healthcare. And some things in healthcare are just plain disgusting.
Yeah, I can only imagine, but some of the industry I deals with some of that, and yeah, but and then there's some things like what the heck are they doing? Why do you do that? And but I work in hospitals, and yeah, sometimes you got to take precautions so you don't get sick from that stuff. That is kind of disgusting.
Tell me you did some of those large laboratory machines that washed out animal cages and stuff like that.
The research corridor up there, like there's a lot of like Abbott, not Abbott. There's one of the labs up, and I put in the machine for their cafeteria, but they were talking about like to wash out the research cages and all that. I'm like, no, I don't think we do that. But yeah, sometimes we make machines and we have to modify them, and they'll use different temperatures, lower temperatures, because they don't want to damage the equipment, but because they're not eating off. Do that, and then, but what I was getting at for the hospital, not to be disgusting, but they're actually cleaner than most dishwashers. We actually make the bedpan washers.
Oh yeah, bedpan. But now a lot of bedpans are plastic, as you know.
Yeah, well, that's why those things cost a lot of money. If you add it up, they save a ton of money using the washers. And it's not as disgusting. You actually have to like see how they work and everything. You'll realize if you do it for a living like we do, that they're actually cleaner than you think, and that dishwasher in the local restaurant is a lot dirtier than you think.
In fact, I would say that dishwashers in a lot of commercial restaurants and commercial, they're probably not all that great.
Now, because they're only as good as they're maintained, and I've seen some crazy stuff, and I've seen some things You know, we had, and you know, none of it's funny. You know, nobody wants anybody to get sick. It's the worst, especially food stuff. So it's serious, but some of the stuff that grows in these equipment, and then you got something that thrives in it, and then eating the chemicals that are supposed to kill it. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm more afraid of that.
Oh yeah. Well, we had. I think I told you that I think you saw them. That Vulcan, the one that was had the steam pipe commercial dishwasher that the Navy uses.
Yeah, only because you know, I had to use some of the equipment in the military that was involved with the dishwashing portion.
Yeah, that was me, man. I spent 3 months, well, 2 months in the, and it's a very steamy place.
Yeah, that was like a form of punishment for me, but it wasn't because I was in. It's part of training, but they made us work in there. I had to work in there for like a few weeks, and I think I lost weight just from being in all the.
Yeah, no, we had it. That was I was low man. The low man on the totem pole get to work in the mess, you know, as part of months. I think it was the normal tour, and but anyway, being low man, you always get it. And the scullery wasn't real bad. It wasn't horrible. It was hot.
Yeah, I was doing pot check. They called it. It was the scullery, but it was the pot check. Man, it's like you almost don't want to eat anymore after seeing that stuff come, you know, and you're just throwing it out, you know, and it's wasteful, you know, I get it, but yeah, you can't keep it because you get sick. But it's just like you got to the point where like, wow, where I couldn't do this for a living.
Yeah, you know what? You can get used to anything. Think of the guys that work in the sewers all their life.
Norton did that. I mean, on the fake show, but.
Well, very good, Frank. That was Frank, Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo. Is there anybody else out there we're forgetting here from the north, maybe? Very good. Again, we're going to be going for the evening. Scott, is everything? How are you copying me tonight, Scott? Yeah, your signal's a little low, but I can hear you just fine. Oh, I understand. Well, that, like I said, with I forget if that's a 5/8 wave, the SPT 500 that MFJ sold. That thing is a killer. I mean, the radials is 8 feet long. Anyway, not everybody wants an antenna that big in their backyard. I'd like to move mine so it can't be seen from the street. I haven't done that yet. Anyway, that was Scott in Laverne. Anywhere? Lollygaggers, 28415. Please come in. That's all we got, unless anybody has any relays for me. I'm hearing somebody there. Do I hear something? I'm sorry, was that Whiskey 3? Whiskey 3? The Whiskey 3, but you're in and out on the in the noise. Did you say Sarah? Okay. Oh, very good. New Jersey. Yeah, we're here. I'm in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. We do a Simplex Net here on 10 meters upper sideband every Wednesday and Saturday night. And conditions, even as bad as they are, I can hear you. Very good. Whereabouts in New Jersey was that again? Yeah, I'm not copying it real well, but I got the New Jersey part. I can always look at it. And it is Charlie Golf Sierra. Very good, Mario. Good to hear from you. I'm glad we could get. We haven't worked New Jersey in a long time. On a 10 meters have been open, but not like this, and not with this well to New Jersey. I am about 12 miles east of Nashville, and near Nashville, Tennessee. I'm about 12 miles east of Nashville, Tennessee. Yes, Tennessee. Yeah, if you look at my call, Kilo 4, Papa Echo Whiskey, Kilo 4, Papa Echo Whiskey, and again, Kilo 4, Papa Echo Whiskey. Kilo 4, Papa Echo Whiskey. Kilo 4, Papa Echo Whiskey. QSL? Well, it's doing a real good job for you. I've got a Yaesu 991 Alpha and using an SPT 500 10-meter vertical antenna that works very well. Well, very good, Mario. I'm glad I could connect with you. You're in and out on me, but appreciate you checking in. We hope to catch you again sometime in the future. You're in the log, and I'll make sure I contact with you through whatever means you like there. I'll look you up on QRZ. That was Mario, Whiskey 3, Charlie Golf Sierra in New Jersey. I was just complaining that we didn't get any any calls from other states, but here's one tonight. Anybody else? Please come now. And I might close out this portion on that, go over to 223-415. I think Mario may still be talking, but I can't hear him very well. So anyway, 223-415, we'll see you there, K4P. Yeah, Mario, you have a good evening too, K4PEW. Closing out the net, K4PEW.